Hey gang, and welcome to Season 4 of N3RD4IA, or as I like to call it, The Next Generation. Paying homage to the classic original Star Trek series, which only had 3 seasons. Pretty clever, I know. Also, it looks like I'm paying homage to the Star Trek reboot with my little lens flare going in the background here. I think I'm going to keep it. The idea was that once I hit 1,000 views on YouTube that I would reboot the show. So I'll still have a bunch of standalone videos like I've been doing for the past few months. I will only reserve the most special topics and put together ideas for the show. I'm hoping after my next viewership goal, which is a lucky number I think, 1,111 views, which I will probably get to quicker than it took me to get to the 1,000. Thank goodness. Thank you, all of you, even if you were only 5 people. Or, I mean, you had to at least been like 20 people for me to have 60 views on something, because obviously not 2 people are watching more than like a few times, because I only watch them when I put them up, and then maybe as a little time passes myself. I'm checking out the latest John Mayer album, Paradise Valley, which is pretty cool. Back to the nerdiness. A few nerdy things have happened lately, such as Kick-Ass 2, which was really awesome. In a summer full of nerd-tastic comic book movies, which many have had mixed reviews on, including Man of Steel. Especially now, with the announcement that Ben Affleck will be playing Batman in Man of Steel 2, which is apparently called Batman vs. Superman. I don't know if that's the official title. I hope not, because it just doesn't sound nice, even though that is essentially what the story will be. Ben Affleck is Batman. In previous years, I would have been concerned, but after seeing his stand-up performance as writer, director, and actor in Argo, I have a little more faith in Affleck as an actor. As a performer in general, he's never that bad, he's just himself. And himself is an issue, but the fact that he is this calm, collected, millionaire-type guy in real life would reflect really well on Bruce Wayne. And I just have to say, I'm excited to see what happens. Which is funny, because I was worried at first myself. I was like, oh no. But someone that is so recognizable, like Ben Affleck, right off the bat, okay, you kind of have an idea of how this person's going to act, who this person's going to be, what they're going to do. And especially since we've established and re-established Batman for years and years and years, since like the 40s, I think we have an idea. He's not going to be as awful as, say, Val Kilmer Batman. He's not going to be as grubby as Michael Keaton Batman, which was my only issue with Michael Keaton Batman, is that his Bruce Wayne just looks kind of dirty and unshowered, like all the time. Love you, Michael Keaton, I'm sorry. And he's not going to be Adam West Batman. Whether or not he's believable is another story. But all he needs to be as believable as Bruce Wayne, because Bruce Wayne is who Batman is, whereas Superman is who Clark Kent is in real life. Also, I would like to add on this episode, the main theme of this episode is end of summer reading. I am here to tell you not to add this book to your list. Silverborn by Patricia Briggs, a Mercy Thompson novel. It looks pretty cool. Cover looks cool. That's kind of judging a book by its cover. I didn't do that, but it was one of those things at a book sale. I kind of just threw it in my $5 bag and went. Like a year or two ago. It's been sitting in my room ever since. And now it's going to go sit in some other room because it's downright horrible. It's got every trope of paranormal romance, erotic thriller, urban fantasy going on, but it's all way too mixed up. And when the story seems to establish a strong female lead, it does exactly the opposite. The story is completely convoluted, it's all over the place. and the main plot lines are missing. So basically, Mercy borrows a book from her friend. Her friend calls her up, says, "You need to give this back, there's a problem." Then a bunch of bad stuff happens, and it's never really clear until the end why or how, and it's still not clear at the end. And the romance scenes are just awful. And the fact that Mercy is a coyote shapeshifter with a werewolf boyfriend never comes into play enough. And that, my friends, is why you shouldn't read this, because I would recommend Twilight above this book. I'm sorry, Patricia, I know you probably worked really hard on it. The one thing I will say is that it, like the Twilight series and such, just as easy to read, not as easy to follow. There's a little more there than there's in Twilight, but it's not structured well enough to be considered more. But listen up, nerds. Next episode rather, because I don't know when I will post this. Kick-Ass 3, the comic book, and what I think about it, and its parallels between the movies. So don't watch that episode if you don't want spoilers. Ciao.